Hi, everyone. Zach Almy here. I wanted to take a couple minutes and just give my 2 cents worth on this next wave of the virus that's coming after us and how we're seeing, the upticks of COVID going on. And so we've got rumors now taking place that we're going to have mandates coming back, lockdowns coming back. We see certain places that are already doing this. We see TSA is actually on the verge of bringing some of that stuff back, and hospitals and colleges, institutions of such sorts. And so we're in this place where we're being warned right now, kind of like we were 3 years ago. But has anything changed? And because I want to point out a couple things. I got on, I went to the Health and Human Services website, and I was actually looking at what was the infection fatality rate for COVID-19 up to date. So this is the number of people that die compared to the number of people that actually contract or show positive for COVID-19. And the IFR, or the infection fatality rate, is 1.4%. That means 1.4% of the people that actually got COVID or were tested positive for COVID, because we know the test was completely worthless, actually died from that. And we know that they probably didn't die from it. They probably died with it, because we know that for some interesting reason, the doctors were actually told they had to fill out death certificates differently with this infection than ever before in history with any other infection. Whole different story altogether. But meanwhile, even with all of this going on, we see that it was a 98.6% of all the people that got COVID didn't die from it. They're still alive. They survived this. So we're putting all this energy and this worry into the next strain of this, because we're told that it's going to be bad. It's going to take in. We're seeing an uptick already that is microscopic compared to what they were telling us was going on before. But I think it's interesting when you take a look at the name of this new strain. It's called the EG5 or Eris, E-R-I-S. And so I was doing a little digging. I came across an article that said Eris is the Greek goddess of strife, and her Roman equivalent is Discordia. That sounds kind of like discord. Strife and discord. Interesting. Eris stands for chaos, contention, rivalry, and war. Her name literally means strife and discord. So I thought this was interesting. I started looking in the Word. In Galatians 5, starting at 19, it says, "Now the works of the flesh," this is the evil part of us, "are evident: sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions." That sounds kind of like discord. "Envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you, as I warned you before, that those who do such things will not inherit the kingdom of God." Proverbs 10:12 tells us that hatred stirs up strife. So that tells us that this new variant that's being stirred up right now really comes from not a health problem, but it comes from evil, an evil source. And hopefully by now people are seeing that that's what this whole pandemic was all about. It was never about health. We wouldn't have given up and surrendered everything that we did for something with an IFR of 1.4%. That's lower than the flu. That's lower than any other disease that we've ever had that we've called a pandemic of. So there's an evil that's behind this. Hatred stirs up strife. But guess what? It goes on to say, love covers all offenses. Love is empowering. Love is something that gives us certainty. Fear is what takes that away. So if we go to Proverbs chapter 6, starting at verse 6, it says, "There are 6 things that the Lord hates, 7 that are an abomination to him: haughty eyes, a lying tongue." Have we heard any lying tongues? Have the medical experts that have told us everything to do over the past 3 years that completely is opposed to what a healthy lifestyle looks like? Maybe those are lying tongues. How about Francis Collins, who, as a Christian, created a website that said, here's what Christians should do during a pandemic? Well, he's formerly the head of the National Institutes of Health, so he's got some credibility, right? Well, he says that a good Christian during a pandemic will get a vaccine because God has given us vaccines so that we can prevent disease. A good Christian will wear a mask because that's how we show love to our neighbor. A good Christian will pray for our medical researchers so we can come up with safe and effective treatments, because for some reason we've forgotten that God is the God who heals. Lying mouths, lying tongues, we've got to watch out for these. Hands that shed innocent blood. This pandemic was nothing short of genocide, orchestrated, intentional genocide. A heart that devises wicked plans, These plans go back for generations. Feet that make haste to run to evil, a false witness who breathes out lies, and one who sows discord among his brothers. This pandemic, from beginning to where we are now in this next chapter they're trying to lead us into, comes from the pit of hell. And so I, this time around, boldly declare that I will not comply. And I would encourage you to think through anything that you do as the mandates are handed back to us during this time. Make your own decisions based upon the truths that are evident all around us. This is Zach. Till next time, make today a great one.